Hello and welcome to the first episode of Coffee Time Talks, hosted by me, Jean-Luc. Today we have three special guests joining us today. First is Alej.
What's up?
Second is Ryan.
Hi.
And the third one is Emile.
Hello.
Today, I just want to talk about how young we are right now. 17, we're about to graduate from high school.
Some of us are 18.
I'm 18 already. Hi.
No, it's
who's
scary.
18?
Okay, but like,
Me.
okay, so what problem?
Emile.
So we can talk about the.
So we can talk about how as
we
18,
young-
17-year-olds, how hard it is for us to experience life at a young age and to jump right into university right out of grade 12.
the decisions that we are when we're already young, and how at this age should we be able to decide what we want, and so quickly that we're gonna spend like hundreds of dollars in
We're
order
being
to
forced to decide.
Man,
Thousands
in
of dollars?
December when I was applying for university, I was scared, man.
In December,
Like-
we were all still 17, trying to plan out the rest of our lives.
How do I know right now that I want to study philosophy and poli-sci, joint major, double major at
Yeah.
U of Ottawa, and for the rest of my life I want to do this?
How do I know I want to be an accountant?
Man, how do you know you want to be an
How do
accountant?
I know I want to
So, well-
sit at a desk, do numbers for the rest of my life?
I think the school does things that do help us realize what we want to do, but they don't like do enough. For example, like co-op. I think that's like one of the most important things someone can.
School
take.
has
It
more
is.
pros.
Because once you realize what you like and don't like for example, when I went to the marketing thing, I swear the first week I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to be in marketing. And then so a couple weeks later, I want to cry every time I went there because it's
Really?
the worst co-op decision I've ever made in my life.
Where'd you go?
I went to Newmarket.
Where's that?
In Newmarket, it's literally like, so they provide like an office space for people that need an office space or that need like a workshop. So they're just like, so if you need to build like a guitar because you're a guitar designer or whatever,
Yeah.
you can rent out the space and use their equipment for your benefit. But like I was a marketing person, so I was supposed to tweet their stuff, and that was just I just sat at a desk by myself along with the 15 other people and doing like nothing. It's like the most boring job.
Yeah, when I was
and I thought
working-
I wanted to be in like a desk and like
Mm.
imagine just at a desk, just your own section, just
Yeah.
minding your own business. Hell no, that's not what I want to do whatsoever.
Really, I had my club next semester.
What is it?
She didn't tell me yet. She just
Find out.
I know.
Well, you just get placed right into it. You don't get to choose.
You get to choose, but like you
Yeah.
have to help yourself choose one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so stuff like that, I think it's important to be like active in choosing what you want and being a part of a co-op position that you think you like. Like even now, like me doing like the studio co-op, that's like a deal breaker for me because like if I don't like it, I don't know what to do because I already don't have the marks for like the university and stuff.
Yeah, that's like people who don't work. I hate people who don't work. Like who are our age and have never worked a day in their life, so they don't know anything about the
There's
real
no job
world.
experience, and then when they go to the job, they're like,
Like for Longos, when I worked at Longos when I was like 13. Oh no, what am I saying? When I was 15, I started at Longos, and every day I go in there, I'm like, okay, like this is a cool part-time job, like I don't mind it, but I certainly do not want to have to do anything with grocery stores. Like I know that.
It's not something that
And
you're
it's
going
like,
to have to do the rest of your
yeah, and it's like even with my part-time job, I mean my full-time summer job at that NPP's office, I was sitting at a desk 6 hours a day for 6 weeks. My boss, she hated me, but anyway, so I'm saying like I know for sure now, like I liked it, but I didn't. Like I don't want to work at the desk. Like I don't want to be a receptionist going around like a slave for the
government.
manager. No, not for the government.
like a
the
manager.
Yeah, for the manager, going to events, pretend like representing the MPP. Like no.
And
I don't
even
wanna
building
do
like
that.
fake connections.
Yeah, like I don't want to be the guy answering the phone, then going out quickly, doing this and that. Like I don't want to be that. I want to be the guy like above that.
But how do you work yourself to?
You just do it. Like
Exactly.
you just shoot. Like
You have to do that
You
in
have
order
to-
to
yeah.
like gain things.
But
Does
working.
co-op count towards university? Like,
No.
can you use that to
No.
apply?
No, they don't care. No, you can use the resume. Like you put them on the resume.
You put it on your
It's
resume.
important,
and
but,
it's a
like,
mark,
But it's not really like
but it's not like the co-op is gonna make or
Like-
break you.
yeah, it's not like co-op. Like universities, like did you do co-op? You don't
Yeah.
care. They don't really care. But I'm just saying it's like that's the only thing that you can do in order to see what you like because I don't think there's enough courses to be able to be like, no, this is definitely what I want.
Yeah, unless what if you choose the wrong course? What
Unless
if
you
choose the
truly
wrong
like
course?
politics, and you know you like learning about it, and you've been with it since you were a kid, go right ahead. But if you're just taking, like, one of my pet peeves, and people are like, I'm taking business or I'm taking politics and law, just because like I can't find anything else to do.
Yeah.
What kind of stupidity is that? When go find something you like doing, rather than regret it 20 years from now and waste money for it.
That's what school's for. That's what high school's for. High school's for choosing different courses. That's why they make us take all these different courses at first. That's why they have us take the history, the geography, the English, the science.
I don't have a solution for it, but I'm just saying it's not effective.
Exactly, it's not effective because once you're younger, let's say grade 9 or 10, I chose, like, I didn't want to do science, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking back on it, and maybe science would have helped me. Maybe it could have opened me up to different career paths, but I can't go back and change it now.
Yeah, it's like, I want to bring this up. In Switzerland, their education system is amazing. When they go through high school, they choose like whatever career they want to do, like whatever, like let's say lawyer, whatever. But then each student is mandatory to take one trade, whether it be mechanics, carpentry, something like that, so that they have a backup plan.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Like, so they have something chosen for them by their parents, and they have something that they want to do. Let's say one of them fails. You always have a backup plan. You always like doing something.
Yeah,
you're learning different things. Different doors are opening up. You have different people you can talk to.
I just feel like we need more time, like grade 13.
Yeah, that's a great option.
Like grade 13.
I don't think it'd make a difference.
Really?
Because if you're going to grade 13, what difference is it from like, let's say we only had grade 11, we asked for that grade 12. Look, we would have been complaining about
4 years of high school is mandatory.
No, but I think
because it doesn't matter how many years there are. It's literally good.
Yeah, but don't you feel rushed?
Yeah, I think the 5 years would be better.
At a grade 14 and 15, it's not gonna matter because you're just gonna end up at 15. Like, what do I do?
Okay, but even though like they took it away, and certainly kids were going like, yeah, like thank God we don't have the third year or the fifth year to do it. But I bet those kids who graduated from grade 14 or 13 are saying, wow, like I'm lucky. Now I chose in that year exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I took all
the
electives
courses you wanted to take.
I made sure I liked it.
Yeah.
So then why don't you just do the lap? Victory lap.
Because
then now you're hindering yourself. Because before it was mandatory, everyone was at the same level. Now if you do it,
you're behind the rest of the
Why are you behind?
Now you're behind a year.
You're behind
doing what?
Behind everyone else.
With your peers.
Why do you have to keep up with them?
Because
regardless if the person listen, regardless of the grade, if a grade 12 graduates now and a grade 11 graduates later, what says that he's not gonna be more successful than me? You're not behind. You're the only.
It's a matter of now. It's a matter of, oh my gosh, why did you take a victory lap? That's kind of weird. I'm gonna go with this guy. He's 1 year older. He has extra experience.
True.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
he's the same age.
Let's say I go off to university, and I go get a co-op in my second year at university, rather than staying at home, going to high school for another year, not gaining that experience earlier than someone who's younger than me. I apply to a job with that person who's younger than me. We have the same amount of work experience. They might take the younger person because we have the same amount. They're younger. They're more valuable.
Yeah.
I don't think you're. Oh, I lost my point. I don't think you're. Like, what are you racing towards it? Why are you trying to finish like now? Like, that's so like it's a little hypocritical because you guys want to say like, oh, like we were meant to choose like now. Like, I think it's a little tired, but at the same time you're like rushing yourself. Like, no, I can't do grade 13 because then I'm gonna be behind.
There is no grade 13 set up. I'm saying if there is a grade 13 set up, that's a better option because then everyone's on the same level. Everyone's on the same level. No one's going off to university. Like, I would feel like almost left out in a way.
So are we saying that university is the only path to a successful life? Because that's what I think
we're not. I'm definitely not going to agree with that because that's not true. But I'm just saying, like, either way, if there's a grade 13 or not, it doesn't matter because being in grade 12, if there was a grade 13, being in grade 12, we would have been like grade 11. We would have been like how it is in grade 11. We're just like whatever. If we had that grade 13, we would have never known what we had that year for. It's not really like. If that's what I just said. If high school only stopped at grade 11 and we asked for a grade 12, then we would have been like, oh, finally we get a grade 12. But we would have never known what that grade 13 does.
Okay, think about how young you are going off the university. What can you do in university? You can't drink, or you're.
But if you
legally you can't drink. Legally you can't do anything.
You can't
really.
drive.
Well, you can. You can
Can't
drive.
You can't drive.
Not on your own. If you go to university off a
You
grade
can,
11,
man. You can.
Okay, you can drive, but what I'm saying is, what my parents did, they had grade 13. They go to university, frosh week or whatever. The first week, all of them are drinking because they're of age. They're 19. What do we do? Like, what are we doing going so young? We have to make our choices for the rest of our life while we're 17 still.
I understand if your argument is because we're young at 18, but let's say you want to graduate at 19 because you're a little more mature. But I don't think it matters because either way, it's like we would have never known what it would have been to have a grade 13. It's not like it's just like having a grade 11, stopping at grade 11, and then being like, I can imagine what grade 12 would have been like if we get one more year. It's not really a difference.
But what about going from high school straight into university at our age?
I think and
Let's say okay, how old am I? I'm 17. In August, I'm gonna be 18. 1 month later, I'm gonna be on my own, let's say in Ottawa, making my way, doing school, doing all of this. I mean, I'm not trying to bring up a matter of maturity. I'm just trying to bring up a matter of age. Like, are we ready?
like we're still kids.
You know what I mean?
I think we should be better prepared.
Listen to this though. Let's say someone goes to America. Let's say someone gets a scholarship offer in America. Let's say it's New York, Boston, Massachusetts, whatever. You go there, you have to decide that you want to live in America when you're 17.
Exactly.
You have to
That's
decide
the
that.
point.
That's done. You have to. Then you move. Let's say you move there. What if your birthday now is in December? You move on your own to America. New city. No one's around you. You don't know anyone. You're starting university. You're starting a new life basically. You're starting on your own completely. You're 17. Starting in September. You have to be there in September. You have to move in a month earlier also. And you're not even 18. Is that right? Is that no, like people don't even think about that.
But like, you're not gonna do that if you don't want to. You're not gonna if you're going to university and you're gonna be like,
But if it's gonna give you your best, like, ideal
then
path,
do it. What's stopping you?
No, how do you know?
How do you know what?
How do you know at 17 that you want to like go to university in America? That's gonna be your best path.
Okay, that's a good argument.
It is a great opportunity
true.
to go to, but you still don't know for sure if it's gonna be worth it in the end.
Yeah, that's what I
because
mean.
when you move to America, you can't come back to Canada.
Yeah, let's say you get a medical
you
degree.
have to get a job.
Let's say you get a medical degree, a law degree, big degrees like that. Is that do people think, is that transferable back to Canada?
You don't,
Like,
I
you
think
have to do
it might be.
Yeah,
I think it.
it might not be
I don't think it
recognized.
is.
If you
people-
get your doctorate in the U.S., is it recognizable in Canada?
I don't know. Like, see, it's things like that. Like, unless you
think
have
about
someone
it,
to
and
help
we're
you,
all-
unless
but
you
if
have someone to
not-
help you.
But if not, then just don't do it.
But then,
but,
what-
no,
so what
but
are you
unless
gonna
you
do?
have
Be
someone
scared
to
of your
help you.
decisions? You're gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't do this. Oh, I shouldn't do that. You're just limiting yourself.
Yeah,
You give
I'm
yourself another year to figure what you want, then you can make a proper
Then
decision.
take the year off.
But no, but things like that are timed. There's limited amount of time, space, spots. You have to choose when you're that young. Like, okay, let's switch a little bit of gears now. What about when we go to university? Do you think that that's the only way to be successful? Because nowadays, personally, I think that's what our parents learned.
Yeah,
That's what their parents learned.
yeah.
And that's what you're pressured into thinking,
And that's
right?
what you're pressured into thinking. Because the old days before, what was it, like 1700s? What were you? I think there were schools, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was like farming
Blacksmith.
or school. Which people were thought of as being higher up, having more money? Schools. That's transferred over. Nowadays, our grandparents are saying, you better go to school, become a lawyer. You better go to school, you become a doctor. What are kids asked when they're young? 6-year-old kids. You go up to your little cugini, your little cousin. You say, hey, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. What grade are you in? 4, grade 4. What do you want to be when you're older? How do they know what they want to be when they're older?
True.
Why don't you ask them, what do you want to change? What impact do you want to have? What do you like doing right now? What do you are you happy with going to swimming every Saturday night?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're pressured into thinking that way. But is that right? Is that right?
I think regardless, you can't be like, oh, like going to school is like, is that right? Like, no, like I think you should definitely going to school. Like you have to, regardless of what you're doing. But is university the best option for you? I think it's so pressuring.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I feel pressured. Like I kid you not, this whole year, all I've heard from my parents, from people, is that you better go to university. University, no one looks at nothing but university.
Yeah, let me rephrase.
But I think it's getting better. Now they're looking at the trades and college.
Yeah.
If you want to go to university, most people will go to university because their parents want them to, which is wrong because they end up dropping out by Christmas. To go to university, you either have to become a lawyer, a doctor, like an accountant, something that you need a university degree for. You don't need a university degree for a general arts or something like a trade.
Yeah.
You can go to college, go there for 2 years, make more money than the people who are like who are just building up debt in university. Those people in college will be making more money.
Okay, so allow me to rephrase then. Not is it right to go to university, but is that the most consistent way to achieve success in your life? Do you think that's true?
But like with what you're saying is like yes, it's right because school is like, no, it doesn't matter nowadays, college or university. But in reality, like I think some way or another, everyone's gonna look down on you for going to college. Even now, even if it's more accepted now, everyone's gonna be like looking down on you, like, why are you going to college? Just go to university. And employers look for university.
Do you go to university for carpentry?
No. Obviously, if university doesn't offer your program, then you can't do anything about it. So you have to go to college. But people, if someone says
it's like business.
So if you want to be a carpenter, and someone says like, what do you want? They're gonna be like, oh, lawyers are more they're more likely to get a job. Then you're gonna be like, man, I have to go to university.
Okay. Talking about that, lawyers. Okay, let's say people. Okay, I've researched this because I want to become a lawyer, possibly.
How do you know you want to become a lawyer? Let's start with that.
Okay, well,
I like knowing this.
Okay.
Why do you want to become a lawyer?
Okay, I think I want to become a lawyer because, first of all, I'm definitely interested in that. I loved my law class. I think that I could be successful in that field. I like politics, I like law, I just enjoy that field of thinking. So I think maybe that's the best plan of action for me. It might change, but for now that's what I want to do. That's my long-term goal for now. Okay, so I was researching that. Outside, okay, let's say I go to university. First I have to do undergrad, 4 years. There goes 4 years, done. Philosophy, poli-sci, undergrad. There goes 4 years of my life. Then I apply to law. There goes another 4 or 5 years of my life, getting that degree, taking the bar, all of those tests. Right after that, how old am I? 18 plus 4, 22, plus 4, 26, let's say 27. I'm 27 years old.
With a bunch of debt.
Back in the day, people were starting, had lives started. They had kids, they had houses, they had stable jobs. I'm coming out of university. Let's say, God willing, all my debts are paid off. Beautiful. Let's say not. How much debt am I going to have from all those years of university? Thousands. Then I apply for a job. Let's say I'm lucky enough to get an internship at a place, at a law office or a politics office, anywhere. I'm going to be making $60,000 a year, minimum, bare minimum. That's crazy. Is that the best plan of action through university? Then let's see a carpenter. College. What, 3 or 4 years? 3 years?
2 years you could either do.
Let's say your dad owns a shop. Your dad owns a company already. You know someone who knows someone. You're a landscaper. You know someone who knows someone. You're already making
50K.
50,000 barely taxed, $50,000, and you're starting how old? 21?
Yeah.
Damn, I never even thought of that.
But at the same time,
But think about the
the
law say?
person may take more time to make the money back. They make more in the end.
Exactly.
How do you know?
much do they-
How do you know?
You don't know.
That's true. They could be an unsuccessful.
How do you know you're gonna climb the corporate ladder, let's say, and achieve that CEO position that everyone's
That's the
fighting
risk.
for?
That's the risk.
Let's say you're gonna get that $1 million salary that everyone's dreaming of now. Is that gonna happen to you?
It depends what life you want to live. Do you want to take the risk? Let's say you want to become a lawyer. Take the risk. Try and climb that corporate ladder. Make the most money. Live your life the way you dreamt of it. Or you could become a carpenter. Maybe
Yeah.
make a more stable income. You know what your income's going to be each year, and then you base your life off that.
So it's a matter of more. So you're bringing up a matter of more possibility over quality of lifestyle that you want, or quality of life. So let's say, okay. So is it a matter?
So cliche.
Is it a matter?
Wait, chill.
Is it a matter of quality of life that you're after instead of salary? So let's say you're a carpenter. You work. You don't have set hours. You just work whenever you want during the week. Let's say you want to work a lot. So you work a lot during the week. Weekends are free. You don't have to work on the weekends. Let's say you're a starting lawyer. You think you're going to have that option? Your boss is going to be on you 24/7. You're going to have to sleep with your phone in your hand. He's going to say, "You're working extra hours today. Sorry, you're staying late."
But wait, what's the
you have
point
to
you're
come in
trying to
Saturday.
make?
But I'm saying the point
I
that
don't
I'm trying to
understand.
make is, what is a successful lifestyle to you? What determines a successful lifestyle? Going to university, or is it more your career path that you choose?
It literally depends on, it's like the career that you want to do, because just because I want to do lawyer and I'm not a good lawyer, no, if I want to study being a lawyer, like if I'm just doing it because that's the only option I had, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna study law. The person who doesn't like law is gonna make way less than the person who loves friggin' art, friggin' carpentry, because they're actually dedicating themselves to their work.
Okay, yeah, I
ethic.
completely agree with what you're saying.
So you have to be passionate in what you do.
I think the law in the long run, let's say best case scenario, like literally, like in a perfect world, the guy who extremely loves carpentry and the guy who extremely loves law, the guy in law tends to make way more money than the guy with carpentry.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're in a system of law.
Yeah.
But it's not a perfect world. The guy in law may be struggling with maybe doing I don't know, maybe having certain challenges that they can't face. But the carpenter guy is on a roll, already owner of a company, starting to hire people, more profit. It just depends. But then at the same time, there's also that lawyer who looks down on that guy and says, "Listen, man, I barely have to work. Well, I don't know. Like, let's say, like you're in law
I do
and
what I do. I make 200 grand a year. You make 70 grand.
at your best, and that's
At
you
your
trying
best.
hard, like grinding your ears. It's not a
The
perfect world, so
successful lawyer is laughing.
it
Yeah.
depends. It depends.
Yeah.
So, but the lawyer who doesn't want to be a lawyer, significantly lower than the carpenter who wants to be a carpenter and is fighting for that position of being the best carpenter in the world.
Exactly. So,
being
so,
the worst
so
lawyer.
it's a matter of
It's a matter of worth it.
Right.
I don't care what career path you choose. It's how hard you work. And obviously,
It's a matter of
obviously, a
passion
garbage
for what
man. That's not very smart for, like, let's say a long term. Unless you're trying to be, unless you're a CEO and you're gonna be like the best garbage man of your lifetime. I'm not trying to like look down on jobs, but it's literally, it doesn't matter the career that you want to do. What matters is the worth ethic.
Also, you have to also love the process in order to love the job. You can't really look at the
Exactly.
big picture and be like, "Oh, that's what I want to do." No, you have to love the work and to love like the interest in your field
But I can also disagree.
in order to be successful.
No, I completely agree with that.
That's what separates you from the pack. Do you really love doing this? Are you
At
gonna
the same time, do you choose something you love or do you choose something that you're good at?
you choose both? You have to do something
But
because
what if it's not both?
What do you mean?
What if it's like, oh, I love science. I'm really bad at science. I love doing it. I took all the courses, maybe got 55,
Oh,
but
that's tough.
I get 90s in math. You give me a math test, I can write it.
But hey,
I'm so smart at math, but I don't.
sometimes
I'd
in this
say-
world you have to do what you have to do what you have to do to get by. You don't always have to love what you have to do. It's just what you have to get by.
You could love science, but you're amazing at math instead. But you're terrible at science. I would say go into math, get a degree because you know you're going to do it easily. Start a job there. Then somehow using creativity, become an entrepreneur and create something that you can do to include both something that you love and something that you're good at.
So you're finding a field that it might be in like you don't have to be a mathematician and work in an algebra. I don't know how that works. Like just work in algebra your whole life, but like you can be the mathematician for a scientist. Work at NASA.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like. Let's say you like space. How many how crazy it would be to be the mathematician at NASA?
Yeah.
Like you always have to find a way to incorporate it because you're right. You can't just do something. Like it's hard. It's really the hard truth. But you can't do something you love.
Do you choose success or do you choose love, passion for what you do? That's the thing.
But once you love something, you find success.
Follow your mind.
both.
Do you follow your mind or you follow your heart?
Exactly.
You never it's hard. Like right now,
It's a dog world out there.
I think.
But you know what? It's not
At
always
our
about what you
age.
love or what you have to do. It's more or less, but like, think about other people in the same position. What do you have to do in order to survive, right?
Yeah, like back in the day, it was our parents. Wow, well, I have to support my family, so I guess I have to drop out of my.
Yeah, you
I have
have
to drop
to.
out. Sorry, like I
Now
have to support my family.
society's like lucky enough to be like, oh, this is what I like doing, so I
Thank
can just
God.
go into
That's
it.
an
No,
amazing-
no.
Yeah.
That's literally-
Before it was like you have to. Like if you don't do this, you don't have a car, you don't have a house. Sorry, you're living on the street. That's how it is. That's how it was before.
3 times.
But that wait.
Yeah.
Emile's thing opens up such a good point because like I'm so passionate about this. Like, so exactly what you said. Society, luckily, like thank God, allows you to literally in a country like Canada be literally choose a job, choose anything and do it.
Fly
But
free.
when there's kids out here, like not choosing what to do and stuff, it's kind of like what you're wasting it. You have the ability. Let's say you like motorcycles. Study
That brings us back exactly to
Study
our original
thing.
point.
But then when you look into a job, you have to also look at the field and be like, oh, I like doing this, but is this going to get me a job? Some
That's-
people just do
exactly.
it just to do it because I like it.
But you have
no,
to think of,
No,
like-
but exactly,
Yeah, you're
our
right.
age. That's
You're
what I'm
right.
saying. Our age.
like we're so lucky just
We're
to
so
have,
lucky.
just to have like,
We're
oh,
so
I
lucky to have
that.
this
Let's
And
go
our
opportunity.
to
parents,
that.
our parents in high school, they had set courses through all out. They had to become
Yep.
what they had to become
Yep.
due to their limitations of opportunity.
No, so here's exactly our original point. We're here struggling, trying to decide what we want to be, and we can be literally anything. But the problem is our age, sometimes maturity. We can become anything we want. And I think personally, back to what Emile said earlier, it's more about the road. It's more about the road there
Success.
than planning it out right now, saying 10 years from now I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to have my own thing, my own company. I think it's more about next week I'm going to get a 90 on this project.
Or about
2 weeks from now I'm going to do so well on this, or because it's like this.
So not getting ahead of yourself.
I don't go to the gym. Okay, whatever. But I'm going to use this anyway. Going to the gym. First day you go, you lift weights, you do cardio, you go home, you look in the mirror, expecting things, zero. Zero change. Zero measurable change. The next day you go back, the same thing, you go home, check again, zero measurable change. Next week, same thing. Nothing changes. A month, maybe you see a little more growth. Another month,
I
2
gotta add
months
something to
later.
that.
You keep going at it without looking daily, without saying next year I better be jacked. You go at it saying tomorrow I want to be more healthy. The next day I want to do better. And if you have that mindset, you go into university saying, okay, maybe university is definitely going to help me, but it's better than not going to university, screwing around, doing whatever.
Wait, not university, school.
School, yeah, school.
yeah, school.
It's better doing that and saying, hey, I'll get this degree and I'll see where it takes me. I'll go to this convention and I'll meet someone. I'll go out for dinner this night even though I don't want to go. Maybe I'm sitting next to a CEO of a company, I shake his hand. Or I ran this business event earlier in the semester, a few weeks ago, and this guy came in, I still remember it. The CEO of a company came in and he's doing literally almost exactly what I'm doing. but a little bit different because he went into medical. He wanted to become a veterinarian, and he went in. First day, he's talking to his peers. They're all like, "Oh, I grew up on a farm, this and that. What type of animals did you grow up with?" And this guy's like, I grew up in the city. I don't really know much." So he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna drop out of that." He goes into philosophy. He doesn't know where that's gonna take him. That's like me. I'm going into philosophy. Who goes into philosophy? You have to love that. You have to be interested in the thinking to be able to do that. He got the degree. One night he went out for dinner. Something along these lines. He met someone. He shook someone's hand and he made a connection. That guy turned out to be the CEO of American Express. The next day, he got a job offer saying, "You'd be great for this position that just opened up." It was like public relations or something. So he started there. Who, when he was 16, 17, 18, sitting down like we are right now, would he have thought,
No.
when I'm 21, I'm going to go to this bar and I'm going to make this connection?
No.
It's just more about the where life takes you instead of, wow, I better go to school, become a doctor.
But it's the initiative too, because if you're just sitting on your ass and just being like, oh, I'm just gonna make a connection and hopefully one day like that.
So this
it's two different. It's two different top. Wait, sorry. It's two different things.
I'm gonna
Is
ask them in a
saying
second.
it and actually doing it. Instead of like sitting on your butt being like, oh, maybe one day I'll be an astronaut. No, maybe one day I'll be Apple CEO. Oh, that'd be so cool. How about okay, baby steps. Start learning about Apple, their history, things like that. Okay, there's an Apple convention. Go ahead, go do that.
Yes,
do that.
start
Network.
off at Staples, learn the computer.
This takes
Network.
us to our generation though. Everyone wants to be hand fed. Everyone
Oh
wants it.
my
that's a
God.
different topic. This is gonna go on.
No,
forever.
okay, true. But like, I completely agree because everyone is
It's true.
spoon-fed
I'm
from
gonna
when they're
lie.
young.
Yeah.
I could go on,
When we go
for
to-
days about that topic.
When we go to school
We can't.
and just go to school, we expect to go home to come back thinking we're smart, without even doing the homework. It's just like working out. We expect to go to the gym, working out, and just like expecting results. But in reality, when you go to school, you have to do homework to gain like the knowledge. And when you go to the gym, you have to take the proper nutrition in order for your body to be where it's at. So it's just like doing homework and just like doing nutrition. It's a good analogy. Kind of have to do the work. I mean,
You have to put in work.
Put in work every day, rather
every
than
day.
think
Just
long
going.
term and be like, oh, I have to.
exactly.
Do this.
It's more initiative than it is back then because we grew up in a society where like we're given flat screen TVs, Xbox, whatever. Back then, they didn't have any of that. Like
They had the fight.
the reason
That's
why.
why you see guys like who's that new talk show host? That guy that came from Africa. Yeah. So anyway, there's this new talk show host on TV. He came from Africa. He's a comedian. He had the drive because look at where he came from.
Yeah.
He came from the poorest of poor. He made it because he had the
Did
drive.
he win Britain's Got Talent?
I think so.
I've seen him.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So he
Comedian?
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, I have another thing to just say quickly, back to our original point. Do you think that there is a determination day that you can look back on when we're like 70 and say, wow, that's the day that I became successful?
That's the deciding.
That's the day that I became successful, or that's the day that I chose this to do this, and now I'm successful because of that. Do you think there's a day like that? Do you think there's a singularity in our life that's going to allow us to say, oh, that's the day I became successful?
Wow.
Well, it depends how you find successful, because everyone's gonna be define success. To me, successful is a certain goal, meaning a certain goal, but you can't just stop there. I'm successful. Peace out. You have to you're always gonna want to do something more. If you have literally one set plan of being successful, that's good for you. But it's also like you have to be motivated enough to get that and know that what's the next big step. For me, like right now, goal, like to be successful, is literally okay. Let's say go to school, and let's say if you're being a painter, having a goal literally might be having your art in a gallery, and you're like, wow, this is what I've been doing. But now that you have that, think bigger. Have your own gallery. Have your own this. Like you can't just like.
So you
to
said-
me, at least my opinion, success is gonna be defined as like the steps that you in your head. Like obviously your success is different than my success. Your success might be like I want to be Prime Minister's right hand man. Mine might be smaller than that, and then I keep going bigger as I go.
Yeah.
And yours could be like that. I just think it depends on the person what success is.
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess that's different than our topic.
People really have to realize to take initiative in order to be success rather than be hand given. Because back then, the only reason why they're successful is because they took initiative into what they really want to do. So you gotta like become self motivated and find it within yourself to take action.
That's like my favorite word,
to be
initiative.
successful. Because in reality, you'll get out of high school, you'll still live in your parents' house, you'll drive their car, but do you really want to do that? I mean, what did they go through to just
Okay.
be successful?
So we're 17, 18. This is our we're taking the steps right now that we're talking about.
Literally, we're at the stage where we're literally.
It's a good thing where you realize now.
These are our steps.
Yeah, these are our steps.
We have to. We're on the road, man. There's no going back. We have to choose. We're going to university. We're not. This is our life. We have to take these steps that we're talking about to be successful, or not.
But yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening to our first podcast. This was Coffee Time Talks. Signing out. Thank you.